Welcome everybody. This video we're focusing on Trumpet Tune by William Duncombe. I hope I pronounced that right. It's a Baroque piece, and this is from Jane Magrath's Masterpieces with Flair Book 1. I'm going to do a series going through the pieces and going through the order of difficulty that she listed as little practice videos for students to be able to use and refer to when I assign this piece to them, or if you are not one of my students and you're just using this for your own edification, I'm glad you found it. So without further ado, this piece is in ternary form. That means it has an A section, a B section, and then a return of the A section. It is, let's see here, it's in the key of C major and 3/4 time. Okay. So let's take a look at the A section first. It's nice and loud. I am deciding not to use any damper pedal for this piece. It's a Baroque piece. The pedal wasn't really invented yet, and that doesn't mean that we don't use pedal with Baroque pieces. We do, but in this case, I feel like this piece sounds better without it. So no damper pedal. Now let's talk about the fingering. So we have right hand finger 2 plays C, then 4 plays E, but then 2 moves over. Your right hand is shifting up so that your 2 moves over to the E, and then your 2 moves over to the G, and then this is a big shift. You're going to move finger 3 to the D above the C you just played with finger 5. Okay, nice little cadence there. This has a lot of repeated notes, so make sure you dribble your wrist when you play. You do not want to lock your wrist when you play repeated notes. Instead, you want to keep a nice dribble motion. And use your wrist to shift up. Let your wrist guide your fingers into place instead of having your fingers stretch over. You want your wrist to guide into place. Okay, let's take a look at the left hand. The left hand is a C major chord broken. You have the 3rd, and then the 5th, and then back to the 3rd. So nice 1, 3, 5. And this is next part is when your hand opens up. So you've played C, finger 2 plays G, and then C, E, G, C, E, G, C, F, G, C, G, C. If you were to block starting measure 5, what you have is a C major triad in first inversion. You can use the fingering that they have, 1, 4, 2. You can also do 1, 5, 3. Both of those are correct fingerings and will work easily. I do like, for measure 7, I do like 1, 3, 2 more than 1, 4, 3. But again, it's about preference. And then measure 8, if you block that, you have the octave, 1 and 5, and then finger 2 plays a G. So when you break it, that works really well too. Always look for places to block when you're practicing, because that will tell you what the best fingering is, and it also helps your hand and wrist immediately go into whatever position needs to happen when you're playing. So let's put this together now. And there's your A section. B section has a lot of repeated thirds, harmonic thirds, so that says to play with 4 and 2. And the reason for that is 1 and 3 is a little bit harder because you have to use your opposable thumb, so it'll be harder to keep it together, whereas it's easier with 4 and 2. Also remember, just like the repeated notes, even more so than the repeated notes in the A section, the B section you have those repeated thirds, so dribble your wrist. Make sure your fingers are nice and firm. You want fingers of steel. Don't let your knuckles collapse. And dribble your wrist while you play. So you're going to do 1 and 3, and then 4 and 2 shift over. 1, 3, and then 4, 2. So I played that all loud, and I shouldn't have, because looking at it now, the dynamic state, 9 and 10 are loud, 11, 12 are moderately loud, mezzo forte. 13, 14 is mezzo piano, that's moderately soft, and 15, 16 is piano. So every time you play this sequence, this pattern right here, keeps repeating, and so that's called a sequence, when you have a repeated pattern that is moving up or down the keys. So I'm going to play it again, adding the dynamics. Yeah, I like that better. Okay, let's talk about the left hand. Left hand has some obvious blocking in 2 measure sections. So you have measures 9 and 10 is this C major chord. If you open up your hand, play the octave with the C's. Fingers 2 and 3 can easily play G and E. Or in this case, they also use finger 4 as an option. I don't like that. I think it's so much easier to do it this way, so I would recommend that, but it's up to you. And then measures 11 and 12, you have a G major triad, is 1, 3, 5, 5. Now, since you're coming from here, you could, with less motion, go 1, 2, 3. Fingers 1, 2, 3, instead of 1, 3, 5. Again, that's a matter of preference, whichever one feels more comfortable. To be honest, I don't remember which one I use. I probably switch back and forth because both of them are relatively easy for me. Okay, and then 13, 14, you have this again. And 15, 16, you have another G major chord, but it's now lower with the octave added. So you have, again, G and G, and then D and B in the middle. I like 1, 2, 3, 5. This goes back to what I was saying earlier, where I like to block sections where I can to see what fingering works best. So even though the book says 1, 2, 4, 5, I like 1, 2, 3, 5. But maybe if you have a smaller hand for it might be easier. So play around with it, decide what's more comfortable in your hands. Okay, let's put it together. Very cute. Now, the rest of it is a repeat of the A section. So once you learn the A section and the B section, you pretty much know the piece. Just add a rallentando on the second to last measure, the last 2 measures. Rallentando means to gradually play slower, so play slower there, and you will have a nice ending to your piece. I'm going to play the A section, the return of the A section. You can also add a little diminuendo there. I did just played the last C just a little bit softer than everything else because I thought that kind of gave it a nice little ending. You could probably get louder too. Let me see. Oop, that didn't sound good. I added a note. I actually like it the other way, going softer at the end just to taper it off. All right, I hope this helps.